PJNet.TV Part 2. It is 29. We're getting off to an early start, and we have the Del Duduit bumper running right now. We have a background ready. We are recording. We are streaming on 9 different platforms, and the chat room is eager to see Del, so we'll count down to Studio 8 in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome back. PJNet.TV. I am your host, Coach Prasick. I am so glad to sit here each night, twice a night, Monday through Thursday, and do this. I'm living the dream, folks, and I am glad that each of you are here, especially those who have joined us in the PJNet.TV chat room. Now, you may be seeing this on YouTube or Twitter or Facebook, and we're certainly glad that you have joined us there. If you would like, if you have a desktop or a laptop or even a good tablet, the fellowship over in the PJNet.TV chat room is absolutely awesome. And you can watch the very same thing over there. That's at PJNet.TV. Each Tuesday, about this time, 9:30 Eastern, we have the tip of the spear, the very first one that committed to a weekly broadcast on PJNet.TV, the patriarch of the guest that we have here. Del Duduit has joined us from the great state of Ohio, and today is a special day. It's not his birthday, it's not his anniversary, but it is nonetheless a very special day, right, Del?
Yeah, it is. It's been a fun day. It's been an exciting day, and you know it's been a long time. I was your first guest that's come on regularly, and you keep saying the check's in the mail. But, you know.
Right, in the mail. Go, there's a male bear out in the woods. Cut that male bear open, and you will find the check. Okay?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I mean, we had the launch of our new book is out today, officially out today, Michigan Motivations. And so Kyle and I were supposed to be up north, doing a little party and some things this week because there was a conference we were supposed to be at up in Canada later this week, and we were going to do a little tour of that area, but obviously they had a kibosh put on that. So we've been doing social media things. Kyle and I got together today and did a little YouTube post. So yeah, we're launching a book when it's difficult to launch a book, when some bookstores are closed. So, but we're making the best of it.
And Kyle was stuck with celebrating his wife's birthday today.
Yeah, Patty's awesome. His wife's awesome. So
with his wife,
happy birthday to her. And there was no correlation on the launch date and her birthday. It just happened to work out that way. So she's a big Michigan fan. Kyle obviously played for Michigan, so he's a big Michigan fan.
In the years when it really mattered.
Yeah, he won a national championship, and so we've had a lot of good response. I mean, I think on Amazon on the pre-sales they were down to one of the hardback covers, and now I think they've restocked since then. But wow. that's exciting. Because people can't watch football right now, and I don't know if they'll be able to watch football this fall. So our motivation to them and our encouragement to them is, hey, you may not have it, and while you're waiting, might as well read about it, be inspired by it. So
well, and maybe college football, if they will toe the line. I'm seeing a lot of people now. I've stopped watching the NFL when this first long ago. Okay, and I don't want to get too far down this rabbit trail.
No, I don't either.
But really, college football has an opportunity here because I think significant number of people are not going to be consuming NFL propaganda.
Well, I still think it'll be the most popular sport, but I think the numbers will be going down.
Yeah,
and I think they're going to lose some people for good. I mean, a couple of years ago, I think they were disgruntled, but then they came a little bit back last year. And if the fiasco happens, like like we're reading is going to happen, I would expect some long diehard folks just to say, "I'm done.
I'm done," and I appreciate Doug just put in the chat room. It's pretty bad when a football coach refuses to watch. And I do love the game. I don't really have a affinity for any particular team. I love the game, Dale. I love the game, but it's no longer a game. It's a stage. It's anyway. Let's get on something better. I'm sorry.
It's been hijacked, and for good probably. So it's going to take a lot of damage repair if there is, and if they bring in the Godfather of Destruction, then it probably will be done forever, and that's a shame.
Yeah, I think it will always exist. Now, at DaleDidway.com, it's there on your screen. You blog faithfully every Tuesday, and I found this week's blog, interesting. I didn't actually finish reading it. I read the beginning. It was
that bad, huh?
Well, no, it wasn't that it's bad. It's just it's a topic I'm familiar with. Dale wants another book. Boy, which one? But actually, you brought it home.
Yeah, I tried. You know what? I had a writer's block for the longest time, and I didn't know what I was going to write about because I didn't want to write about another book launch. And I got just thinking about the word launch and what it means, and why is it called a book launch? I mean, a launch is something and I said, do I throw it up in the air, or do I put it on on like a slingshot and launch it in the air, or what is a launch? Because the only launch that I've witnessed was when we watched the space shuttle launch down in Florida. So I got to look at that, and I looked it up, and one of the definitions was it's a new beginning. And so I thought, you know what? Yeah, this is a launch. This is a new start to this book. It's a new adventure. It's brand new. And as a person, if you've gone through some struggles or bad times, you too can have your own launch. You can relaunch yourself. And you don't have to stay down, and you can make yourself new, and you can ask for forgiveness, and you can start over, and you can have that fresh start.
Della, I was going to ask, or I am asking, you are a machine. You crank out books at a pace that's unbelievable. You have had, this is not your first launch. The first launch I was familiar with was Dugout Devotions. Mm-hmm. You have launched many since then. You're going to be launching some more. I can only imagine that a book launch must be kind of like giving birth. But compare the experience of today to the experience of the day you launched Dugout Devotions. Have you learned anything? It's different.
Yeah,
it's the same. I don't know.
No, it's different. My first launch was actually Buckeye Believer, which was a book about Ohio State football, and that was my first book that we launched, and it was exciting, and it was new for me, so I was trying to get a lot of input from people who have done it before, and they all advised, have it like a Facebook Live party, and have games, and have giveaways, and I did all that, and very time-consuming and very chaotic, and so, but it was a lot of fun. We had a lot of viewers, and we gave away a lot of prizes. We had live stuff going on for an hour, and we had a lot of people packed in our home right here. And we invited a lot of folks over and fed them, and we had a big party, and that was fun, but it was a lot of work. And so then Dugout Devotions came along, and so I wanted to do something a little different, and so we found a little popular coffee shop that does not stay open after dinner hours. I think they close around 4:00. But we're friends, and so she said, "Hey, I'll open up my restaurant for you, and I'll cater it." And so we invited a lot of folks down, a special invitation, come out and see the book. We had some stuff, man, and we had a really good turnout. And so I didn't do the Facebook Live launch. We just did our own private little party, which I found a little bit more intimate and a little bit more fun. And, people bought the book there, we signed, and we took pictures, and it was the same thing. And then, so we've been doing that for our launches a little bit. But for this one, I've never had one during a pandemic and where bookstores are closed. And, and so, like I said, Kyle and I I was supposed to be up in Michigan this week. And we were going to go over to the big house, and we were going to do some stops at some bookstores. That didn't happen. It's not going to happen. So we had to improvise, and we did our little thing today, and we're going to do one probably every Tuesday afternoon, just to keep it going, keep the excitement going, and we're getting a lot of good response that way. So I think each book's going to be different. The ones next month, I don't know what we're going to do yet, because my intent, we were going to go down to Alabama and we were working on meeting with the team with Alabama, and it's probably not going to happen. So we're going to have to, improvise and think of something new to do. So it's just all work. It's just all getting out and talking to book launch teams. I've done that in the past where you get 40 or 50 people, but that's a lot of work, and people are busy. And I've been on some, and most of the people that you have on here have been on these little book launch party teams, and they are fun, but they do take a lot of time. And I feel bad about asking these people because they're all busy like I am. And but I take time out, and they do too, and I appreciate that. But at the same time, I'm thinking, here's another one, that I'm going to ask. I'll just use an example. I'm going to ask Becky to do another one. And so at times, we all do it for each other, but sometimes I feel bad about asking because we ask all the time. So
your production schedule is triple and quadruple what many do. So if you say, here, I'll do yours if you'll do mine, well, you do 4 books, I do 1. There's some inequities that are built into that equation. Well,
I don't look at that, but it's just a matter of time. Everybody's busy, and everybody's got things they got going on. So I try to be cognizant of that, and I try to take that into consideration. I try to do something different every time. And Kyle and I had a couple of cool things worked out, but it's not going to work out. And we're not down or discouraged about it. We're going to, like I said, pre-sales were really good. I mean, there was one hardback book left, and the hardback book is pretty pricey. And I didn't know they were going to have a hardback book. I mean, we haven't got our copies yet. So
you better buy that last one so you'll have one.
No, well, we've got some coming, but normally I have them. But with situations today, the email today was, hey, we're running behind. Obviously, it's people in the stock rooms weren't in. So, and I get that. So I said, hey, it's no big deal. He said they're en route, so I should have my copies. I haven't seen the book yet, so I have my copies hopefully later this week.
You've read it.
I read half of it. I wrote half of it. So, and the only thing I have Michigan-wise is this mug I got in San Antonio at the Final Four when Michigan was playing there. So I got my little M right there for Michigan. That's the only thing of Michigan I have.
Yeah, that's the only thing you're going to mention about Michigan.
Yeah.
And, do you happen to have any OSU? Well, but that's not part of the book, is it? So
not part of the book. Well, there's a chapter in there. Yeah, I wrote a couple of chapters. One of them was when Ohio State won, and
you're right.
And the lessons there is you won't win everything in life, so you're gonna have to learn how to deal with defeat. And so I had to throw one in.
Well, there's a couple of things that I'm kind of thinking as you're talking. First of all, relaunch or launch. We've all been thrown a curve. We are in so uncharted waters. The things that we thought were rock solid and dependable are no longer. So you're trying to launch a book in very uncertain. You are sailing in uncharted waters. But you are sailing.
We're and that's the only place you can move is forward. If you're standing still, then you're not going anywhere. So we are in different times right now. Things that were once good are considered evil, and things that are evil are now considered good by some people. So we are in different territories right now. Who would ever thought that our founding fathers are now the targets of pure hatred? And the things that we hold as a sacred treasure are our flags, our Declaration of Independence, our Pledge of Allegiance, our national anthem. They are now the targets of pure evil. And there's no other way to describe it. It's not politics. It's not racism. It is a pure hatred and evil for our nation, and that's what it is. That's
what it is. Now, Dale, I'm not trying to pull the pin on your grenade. I do sometimes, but I'm sincerely interested. And it seems as if the city in your state, the city of Columbus, and you're probably more up to speed on that than I am. But what the heck's going on? Because this was, if I got it right, now help me here if I'm wrong. This was not a case of a bunch of people desecrating and tearing it down spontaneously. This was a case where they went through channels and the government actually decided it was a good idea to take it down. Am I getting it right?
Yeah, they caved. They cowered. They removed a statue of Columbus, which is after the city, at our state capitol. They vandalized and painted our state capitol. They've really changed Columbus, which has been a vibrant, upcoming white collar city. I mean, there's been a lot of influx into that city. They've revitalized the northern part and made this beautiful, charming little district where you can go and walk on the brick streets, and all the lights are out and you have dinner. They have just utterly destroyed that, and it's disgusting now. And now, if you're driving in Columbus, Ohio, without a mask on, you're going to be fined. It is
Even
mandatory.
if you're alone in your car? Alone?
No, you can be alone, but if somebody's
Okay.
with you, you have to have a mask on, which is complete. And this has been signed off by council, has not been voted on, has not been approved by state legislator. It is now by order, and that is tyranny. Can they tell me now, hey, Dell, you have to wear a mask and you can only wear a blue shirt on Thursdays at 4:00? I mean, you're laughing, but yeah. So our governor, which I believe used to be Republican, he was Attorney General, he was a senator.
He was elected as a Republican. He's really been these last, and I've supported him in the past, and I've been to his house, for crying out loud. He had his ice cream social. We down there and had ice cream with him and his wife. Great family. He's completely cowered and bent over and bowed down, and it's pathetic that I don't know what's happened to him, but yeah, I want to add Columbus, Ohio, onto that list. I will never go to. I'll even go to a different airport. I always fly out of Columbus. May never consider going there again, because it's until a person. No, I don't care if they're Republican or Democrat, as long as they're an American is in office. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Some interesting. Let me take a little detour or whatever, change of venue here in the chat room. I see something that was in context of the conversation earlier. We're in uncharted waters. When you're launching, you can relaunch your life. There are two words here from Star that really capture this. Here they are: fall forward.
Yeah, you have
fall forward. I'm a football coach. This is not an unusual phrase to hear. Okay,
right? Because you want to get that first down.
You're going to get tackled, okay? I mean, every play's not going to be a touchdown, all right? Let's get real. But when you get tackled, make sure that you fall forward. Get that ball. Now the rules have changed. Late in the fourth quarter, if we found ourselves behind, Dale, and it's fourth down, and you're about to go down, fumble forward.
Yeah, really.
You can't do that anymore. But
Earl Campbell was a master at that, falling forward. I mean, he was hard to bring down anyway, but he always went forward. And of course, Jim Brown. Nowadays, you have running backs run out of bounds because they don't want to get hurt, because it'll jeopardize their future.
Yeah, their panties might be dirty or something. I don't know.
Yeah, so there's a difference. I mean, it's a tough sport, but I don't know if any real men who you look back at Jim Brown. He's that guy's a man's man. I mean, he said he will never take a knee, and he's been obliterated by his own community. Again, I mentioned Earl Campbell. Earl Campbell was just a monster, and he was a man's man. He was tough. I can't name one today. I really can't.
From the chat room, your comment, a white collar city, that may bring some fire, white collar.
No, business.
That's not. Let's qualify. This was not a racist implication. That
you have the blue collar community, your unions, and then you have your white collar community, which is your business people.
Typically management.
But it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, the IQ of people out there would claim that, but because they're always looking for something. So. But yeah, thanks for clarifying that. So we don't want to go down that road, but it gets to the place where you can't even use common terms anymore because you're afraid. Oh my gosh, is that going to offend somebody? So,
Well, I'm seeing,
or I could say some of my striped collar shirts. I wear some striped collar shirts, so it's a
yeah.
striped collar community.
There you go. Mm-hmm. It's a effervescent rainbow of
Yeah.
color. I am seeing some athletes, and I can't recall the names, but there are plenty of athletes out there that are stepping up and standing in the gap, saying this is crazy.
There's few.
There are a few, but basically
Yeah.
it's a result of polarization. I mean, you gotta pick sides now, folks, and that is very unfortunate.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, hopefully this book will be able to, Michigan Motivations will be able to give people a break, and they'll read about some good things.
Good things.
And I learned a lot because obviously being from Ohio, Kyle was from Ohio too, but being an Ohio State fan. I had to do a lot of research on some of this stuff, and I actually enjoyed it. I, went back and learned some things. I'm still going to root for Ohio State, but I learned a lot of history. I learned a lot of legacy about the Big House and about some great players who played there and some great moments. And I learned about the little brown jug, and just a lot of cool things that I think people will enjoy reading. This book's 52 chapters. Are the premise of the idea is for one person, you read a chapter a week. You start out whatever day you want. On a Monday morning, you read chapter 1, chapter 2 the next Monday. And Kyle and I staggered. I think he wrote chapter 1, I wrote chapter 2, and so forth like that. And there's a little challenge at the end of each chapter. It is not a devotional. It's a general market inspirational, motivational book. But we're able to pepper in a little bit about faith, a little bit. So, but yeah, it was a fun. Each chapter's, it's a quick read. It's 1,000 words, maybe 4 minutes out of your morning to sit and read it and get some motivation about it. And get ready to tackle the day. And I do appreciate everybody in the chat room. I know I've been getting messages on my phone. Amy's listening. I know Shay's listening. Cheryl's listening. My friend Julie and Rodney. So we really appreciate everybody being on board tonight.
Well, it's turning out well. Now, Dell, I don't know. We don't script these things, but you have carved out a niche.
Me too.
In devotionals based on team sports. And
yeah,
has the current situation caused you to give any thought to changing the formula going forward, or are you just going to ride the storm out?
Well, I've looked at both. Actually, I talked to Kyle today about it, and we had after our little chat. I think right now we're going to. I think in a few months, I think we're going to start seeing things settle down a little bit. So we're just going to ride, just see what happens. Just sit back and watch. Take the right side.
Well,
never back down.
There's two metrics we can look at. One you already mentioned. The landscape. Given the current metrics, I have seen graphs that are well, not unbelievable. They're very believable. The reported cases are skyrocketing. I mean, they show this red line going almost vertical, but the death rate is holding steady. It's So of course the news is there's 1,000 new cases reported. So they really drilled. They keep calling your attention to the shiny object. The new cases being reported. Of course, no. The death rate has the mortality rate. Is not, the rate has gone way down. The number of deaths has remained almost static, and it's very low. Of course, if you or your family are one of those, it's very significant, and we don't want to marginalize the heartbreak that would be. No. But that can't go on. If you extrapolate that, by the end of the year, everybody will have already had it and either died of it or they are now immune to it. Okay.
Yeah, and there's discussion whether there's going to be an immunity to it or not. We don't know that because it's
there is a vaccine for flu, by the way. Go check those statistics.
Yeah, we get it every year. So and something I was made to take it last year. I've never had a flu shot. My employer made me take the vaccine after some debate. I thought,
you were in the pharmaceutical industry at the time.
Yeah,
so,
I just said fine. I thought, shut up, I'll take it. Yeah. So I don't know, but it's a very significant, serious disease or a virus, but it's a very it's less than what's 1% die, 1.5%.
It's not even
die.
1%. It's 2 out of 1,000.
So, which is less than it's not statistically.
And when you start, when you start drilling down on that, you find out it's virtually insignificant. Now, very significant that anybody dies for any reason. Okay, I get that,
and we don't know if the person that died had it or if they had a heart. Who knows?
They had it.
Died, so.
It was the straw that broke the camel's back in many cases.
But
now,
what we're seeing is the ultimate enemy and the ultimate propaganda and the ultimate enemy right now is the mainstream established media. Mm-hmm. They are the reason. They are the reason everybody's scared. They are the reason our cities are burning because they are fueling it all, and
they're fanning
absolutely love it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
the other metric that's significant is you'll have book sales. You're launching this book today. I think you've got another one right on its heels.
I have two more,
Right. So by the end of the year, you will be able to literally statistically analyze this and call a play.
Yeah, we'll be able to see what worked and what didn't work and what adjustments we need to make. But I have two launches next month and on the 10th, and it's the Alabama and the Auburn books that we're pitting them against each other because that's it's one of the bigger rivalries in college football. And
wait till you get down to Alabama. Have you been to Alabama, Dale?
Yeah, I've been to Birmingham. We were planning on going down there today or next month, but that's not going to work out. So, I still believe in what I've read and what I've witnessed. The Ohio State-Michigan rivalry is probably, a little bit more heated, more followed. I mean, it's nothing like it. And, of course, everybody says that, the Alabama-Auburn rivalry. I hope to go to it and experience myself. So
you might
we'll see.
You might want me to escort you. I have traveled the state of Alabama extensively. They border Florida, and I have many friends in Alabama. Here's the difference, I think. Now, I have been up north. I'm not familiar with the Michigan-Ohio thing, okay? I mean, I know it's a rivalry. That's all I know. Mm-hmm. No. I can tell you this. In Alabama, it is personal. In many cases, it is personal.
Oh, yeah. I don't understand that either. I mean,
it doesn't end at the end of the football season. It stays there. So you have to be careful what you say in Alabama. You got to kind of test each other. I had an uncle. He's deceased, or my wife's uncle actually. He was a Florida Gator fan. Now, and I never really was a Seminole fan, but I am an alumnus of that institution. When they won the national championship, we met, at family functions. I shook his hand and congratulated him. Mm-hmm. When FSU won it, he did the same. Now, we were both, this is healthy. This is good. But this is not always the situation in Alabama, Dale, so I caution you.
No, I've seen pretty bad stuff at the Ohio State Michigan games.
It gets pretty personal sometimes.
I think I told you during one of there was a fight broke out right in front of us, and it was all I worried about was I'm cold and I got to move because these knuckleheads are fighting, and fist fights. I'm like, really? It's just a football game.
It's a football.
But no, I've seen some out at tailgating. I've seen some pretty disgusting things happen.
The beautiful thing about competition is it brings out the best in us.
Yeah.
The unfortunate reality is it also brings out the worst in us.
But I wrote the blog and I put a little line in there. It wasn't a cheesy attempt for people to buy the book. I was trying to make a point that I'm having a launch, but you can relaunch yourself too, or you can launch something. You can launch have a brand new happening in your life. Like I launched my writing career. If you have something, that you want to do, it's not too late to launch it. It's not too late to do something about it.
You did a launch of yourself at the Florida Christian Writers Conference.
Yeah,
Are you planning on going to that this year?
Yeah, I'll be on staff. I'll be teaching classes.
Oh, I guess you'll be there then. Yeah, okay.
I'll be there. And so, I did mine at like 49. I was 49 years old. So it's not too late. You can start any time. So I wish I'd done this earlier, but you can launch yourself. No matter what your situation is. People say, "Well, I don't have any money. I don't have the." You don't really need it. All you need is just to build your platform and just to get out there and do it. And you don't need to make a lot of money to do it. Just be happy.
You can take the first step. Take,
Yeah.
we just had 20 minutes of bloom where you're planted. Work with what you have.
Yeah.
I worked in disaster relief for 14 years. I was the first one there if there was a hurricane. First one in.
Yeah.
And I learned very quickly, it is not, I don't care what we cannot do with what we don't have.
Yeah.
Right now, that doesn't matter. It does matter later. We'll have meetings about it.
Yeah. Well,
But right now, the only thing that matters is what we're going to do with what we do have. So, folks, we all face obstacles. We all get the rug pulled out from under us. God knows PJ Net has been through hell. Okay. Coach has been through hell. I think we've all been through hell. Rocky, I love that movie because he kept going down.
Yeah.
He kept getting back up.
There's a great story behind the inspiration that Sylvester Stallone had for that movie. And he was at the Ali fight when Ali got knocked down. And he was over by the, I forget, I know the fighter's name is, it just slips in my mind right now, but he heard, the fighter come over and say, I knocked out the champ. We're going to be rich. And then the trainer says he's getting up. And Ali finished the fight pretty quickly. And that was his inspiration to make the movie Rocky, and it's a great film. Actually, Rocky's more of a love story than anything. So, so if you like love stories, watch Rocky. But hey, I do want to say one thing, and I was really honored and surprised. There was the Indie Book Awards, the Next Generation Indie Book Awards, which is a big deal. A lot of entries. My book Dugout Devotions won a finalist medal. Yeah, I was really
Shiny
surprised.
object.
I think there were 600 some entries, and I was on the finalists, so I was really happy with that. I was actually forgot all about it, and
must have been.
I didn't think I won anything because I didn't hear anything. Then I thought, what is this? Hey, it's a medal. So I was happy with that.
Last week you said in 2 weeks you might have something to tell us.
That's still cooking. We're still on the burner with that. It's going to happen. We are full steam ahead on it. We're just working out the irons, or working out the wrinkles right now.
There you go.
So
right.
it's exciting time. Iron out the wrinkles, and we'll be able to speak about that pretty soon. But it's going to be fun. It's going to be an exciting time.
I can't wait. All right. Well, Dale, thanks for sharing, and thanks for your inspiration. Not only in your personal appearances here, but in your blog writings, in your book writings. It's quite a ministry, and we really appreciate you taking time week after week after week. We have.
Thanks for everybody, and thanks for everybody for being patient with us.
There you go. There was the man, Del Didway, right here on pjnet.tv. What an inspiration. Folks, I'm not going to belabor the point tonight, but there are some developments that are encouraging. Some conversations that I had today. If Doug Carter is here, shout out to Doug Carter for connecting me with a young man in Alabama, 35 years old, with an idea that we may be working together on. Okay? We are learning as we go here, and it'd be great to have some younger blood in the mix of things. I successfully repelled the 30 to 40 or 50 copyright claims that were slammed against our YouTube channel over the weekend. So they're all gone now. So I didn't, but I spent all day yesterday afternoon repelling these things. And by the way, I want to clarify, last night I mentioned free sources of content, and I mentioned by name Pixabay. And I may not have said it the way I intended. Pixabay appears to me to be one of the few reputable sources of free digital content that you can use in many cases without even attribution or contribution. So if there was anything I said that may have come out different than that, I would like to stand corrected. I have used Pixabay, and I think that I would encourage anybody who doesn't have the funds to purchase a license, look at Pixabay as a source of digital. But what not to do, the point I was trying to make, is as Christians we need to be held to the highest of standards. Now these aren't my words, these are from the scriptures, that we are to conduct ourselves to be above or beyond even the appearance of impropriety. It doesn't say impropriety, the appearance of. Folks, when you obtain something free, warnings need to go off in your head, okay? Why would anybody produce something and give it away? That just basically doesn't make sense. Now, that's not to say there aren't exceptions. If you are watching this on a browser, chances are it was free. There are exceptions, but be cautious. The other thing to be cautious of, if you're being offered a product for free, my general take is that you, me, the consumer of that product is what is being bought and sold. They're using you for some purpose. It's not out of the... thank you, Barbara, for putting that in, that link in our chat room, because many people that I know, bloggers especially, use Pixabay as a reputable source of material. But don't just do a Google search and then click the image tab, okay? That is stealing, okay? You say, well, it's on the internet. No, that doesn't mean you can have it. That doesn't mean you can use it. Go take your own picture. All right, folks, there is some encouragement. I won't dwell on it tonight. We'll dribble this out over time as it kind of develops a little bit. But I am very encouraged. I want to leave you, though, with a challenge. And this challenge takes the form of two questions. The first one is this: what is the boldest thing that you have ever done for Jesus Christ? And the second question would be, well, when was that? Folks, the challenge, if we are going to achieve our duty under the Great Commission, is to never be satisfied with either